As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
It's a world where a code of silence, or Omerta, is essential. Otherwise, you may end up sleeping with the fishes.
What the hell is this?
That's a Sicilian message. It means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Welcome to WatchMojo's Top 5 Facts. In today's installment, we're counting down the 5 most interesting and surprising facts that we could find about the Mafia. Be they the Sicilian Cosa Nostra, the Camorra of Naples, or Mafia activity in the United States.
I'll try and center a few clams myself now and then.
Number 5. The Mafia first rose to prominence in the US due to prohibition.
We got a product the fellas gotta have. Even better is that we got a product he ain't allowed to have.
There's a saying, possibly coined by Jello Biafra, which goes, if evolution is outlawed, then only outlaws will evolve. Well, during America's Prohibition era of 1920 to 1933, alcohol was outlawed, so only outlaws supplied alcohol. So naturally, Prohibition led to the rise of organized crime syndicates, which took advantage of the situation, bootlegging liquor for sale in speakeasies and organizing protection rackets for local businesses, while simultaneously paying off local police to look the other way.
How about the law?
The law? I am the law, Georgie boy.
Many of these criminal tactics went on to serve as tried and true revenue streams for the mob. In the midst of this boom in the American black market, organized crime was getting cracked down on in Italy, leading many mafiosi to relocate to the US, helping to make Prohibition the era where the Mafia really established itself stateside. Number 4. The Mafia have poisoned Naples. Italy's relationship with the Mafia is a complex one, with many different subsections of organized crime integrating themselves into different areas of the country. The citizens of Naples have long accepted the presence of the Camorra within their lives, an organized crime syndicate with a history dating back to the 16th century. The Camorra's impact doesn't stop at the boundaries of some mythical underworld, however. The syndicate ran the waste management system in the Campania region, of which Naples is the capital. The result of this takeover was the illegal mixture of dangerous chemicals and waste into the normal weekly trash collections, which were then burned and dumped, causing an exponential rise of illness and cancer amongst those living in the region. Add to this the fact that the Camorra's waste management techniques allegedly include breaking child labor laws and bribing local officials, and you have one situation which unfortunately might get worse before it gets better.
But locals fear that despite the crackdown, the Mafia will simply find a way to stay in business, possibly by launching into a new sector, the lucrative cleanup business.
Number 3. Al Capone humiliated Geraldo Rivera from beyond the grave.
There was nothing in Al Capone's vault, but it wasn't Geraldo's fault.
Al Capone was one of the most infamous gangsters of the Prohibition era.
Hey, nice talking to you, huh?
You too.
Jimmy Darmody. Al Capone. All right.
Geraldo Rivera was one of the most well-known personalities on television. These two seemingly unrelated individuals met head-on, however, almost 40 years after one of them had passed away. The night in question was April 21st, 1986, during a 2-hour televised Geraldo special titled The Mystery of Al Capone's Vaults. Rivera had only recently been fired by his employers over at ABC, and had been touting this special as a big, career-defining deal, even going so far as to have on standby a medical examiner should there be any bodies buried, and agents from the IRS in the hopes that some of Capone's fortune would be left in the vault. Things didn't pan out for Geraldo, however, with the contents of Capone's vault consisting of only dirt and some empty bottles. You may not be able to take it with you, but one thing's for sure, Capone didn't leave anything behind for Geraldo.
Seems, at least up to now that we've struck out with the vault, I'm disappointed about that, as I'm sure you are. This is one time in my life that pot of gold would have been a lot more fun than chasing the rainbows.
Number 2. Frank Sinatra associated with the Mafia.
Come fly with me, we'll float down to Peru.
Sinatra's ties to the mob were such an open secret that they became somewhat of a long-running joke amongst fans and friends of the singer, to the point where Sinatra and his Rat Pack would even reference it on stage during their performances. What wasn't a laughing matter to Sinatra, however, was his relationship with then presidential candidate John F. Kennedy during the 1960 election. The singer, apparently desperate for inclusion into Kennedy's inner circle, went so far as to petition Chicago mob boss Sam Giancana for his influence getting Kennedy into office. According to Sinatra's daughter Tina, what Sinatra did not plan on, however, was the behavior of Kennedy's brother Robert as Attorney General, who cracked down on organized crime with great zeal. Giancana was pretty pissed off about this, so to smooth over the situation, Sinatra and the Rat Pack played a string of gratis performances at the Mobsters Club in Chicago. Number 1. The Mafia produced the most famous porn flick.
Well, there it is, you little bugger. There it is.
What?
Well, your clitoris.
It's deep down in the bottom of your throat.
The mental image most associated with the porn industry is probably one of the West Coast Californian variety, of hot sun, palm trees, and private studios. But in the early 1970s, the New York-based Mafia, especially Anthony Big Tony Pereno, held sway over much of the industry.
We're all gonna win Oscars.
Most notably, Mob Money financed Deep Throat, starring the legendary Linda Lovelace, a massively popular crossover hit, which is credited with ushering in the porno chic movement of the decade.
I'm really sorry, did I do something wrong?
No, sweetie, no.
So immense was the financial success of Deep Throat that one Mafia associate from the Colombo crime family reportedly boasted, quote, "We don't count the money we make, we weigh it." Reportedly, the film earned $600 million. But if that were true, it would mean it outsold Star Wars in the 70s.
Well, more wealth than you can imagine.
I don't know, I can imagine quite a bit.
Some have considered the possibility that Deep Throat's numbers were inflated either to build hype or as part of a Mafia money laundering scheme.
What the hell's wrong with the way we live? Between my alimony checks and your old man's allowance, we do all right.
So what do you think? Could a classic porno flick have actually outgrossed Star Wars?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And how many of these facts surprised you? For more tons of cash top 10s and empty vault top 5s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
We ran everything. We paid off cops, we paid off lawyers, we paid off judges. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. And now it's all over.